for the Rams. Only bragging rights are involved in the Southern California rivalry, while the Raiders need a victory to ensure they will have the home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
ABC Sports exclusive is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. By Kodak Film, bring America home on Kodacolor VR films. And by Andre Champagne. This holiday season, share the magic of Andre, America's best-loved champagne.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, and along with all of us here on Monday Night Football, we're delighted you're with us once again. We think we have a very interesting game coming your way tonight. Not a whole lot at stake. Quite frankly, the Raiders, they need a victory tonight to ensure that they are not going to have to go down and play Miami a little later on in the playoffs. The Rams, they know they're going to play Dallas right here. You talk to these players, and you don't feel there's any rivalry involved, but underneath you feel that there is some sort of thing going on. The players don't seem to be involved in it. The fans, quite frankly, are. We saw a sign a few moments ago. It said, "Peace on earth and kill the Raiders." So the fans are into it, whether or not the players are or not. I have a feeling that deep down that all of them really want to win this football game. The final game of the season, great players involved. Marcus Allen with his efforts now to become the NFL rushing champion for 85. There's Eric Dickerson. He has a slight hamstring, but we understand he will start. And, of course, two very unusual quarterbacks. And to tell us about the two quarterbacks we'll watch tonight, Joe Namath.
And, Frank, they are two unusual quarterbacks. First, let's start with Mark Wilson. You know, when he took over the offense for the Raiders after Jim Plunkett got hurt in the third game of the season, he received a lot of criticism. He's only completing passes at a 48% rate, and when he took over for Jim, Jim was throwing at a 68% rate. But there's one thing that's important in statistics, and that's winning and losing. In the 12 games Wilson has started, he's won 10 of them and only lost 2. If Wilson gets hot, these Raiders can win the Super Bowl. On the other hand, Dieter Brock, in his first year of the NFL, has received a lot of criticism. He's too small. He can't throw the ball. Well, I'll tell you something. In the last 4 weeks, he's passed the ball better than any other quarterback in the NFL. And right now, he's second only to Joe Montana in the NFC. And that's pretty good quarterbacking for a first-year man. He's also won the divisional championship. The team that'll win tonight is the team that has the hot quarterback. And now, here's a great running back to tell us about a couple of pretty good running backs, O.J. Simpson.
Well, you know, Joe, I agree with you. I think it's the play of the quarterbacks that's going to determine how far these teams are going to go in the playoffs. But it's tough for me to get excited about names like Brock and Wilson when they got names like Dickerson and Allen in the game. Dickerson is nursing that hamstring. I don't expect him to be worked too much tonight. He seems to have shaken off the ill effects of training camp this year, missing the training camp. He's had over 400 yards in his last 4 games, so that's good news. He should be ready for that Cowboy game in a couple of weeks. As far as the Raiders are concerned, it's a more important game for them. They feel that they're going to eventually play the Miami Dolphins, and they don't want to go to Miami. No one wants to play the Dolphins in Miami. I think just as important as winning this game for them, the teammates of Marcus Allen would love to see him get those 84 yards that he needs to overtake Gerald Riggs and win his first rushing title, as well as the 79 yards he needs to overtake Eric Dickerson's all-time combined yardage record. In any event, it should be well of a football game. So, Gifford, why don't we get him started?
All right, Simpson. And a moment ago, it could only happen in Southern California. Of course, they have him on water skis down in Miami. But to get the evening underway, Santa Claus dropped in, hit right on the 40-yard line. You know that Gerald Riggs will be watching tonight. We congratulate him on a great effort no matter how it turns out between Gerald Riggs and Marcus Allen. As we look down on the field, you can see the Raiders will be receiving. Mike Lansford will kick off, and Sam Seal is back there with Fulton Walker, who set the Super Bowl record for returns 3 years ago with the Miami Dolphins. He is now a Raider. Lansford gets it underway. Lansford to Walker. And there's a big opening. And Walker finds the opening down the sidelines. out over the 40-yard line before he steps out of bounds, and chased out of bounds there by Nolan Cromwell. So a good return and good field position for Mark Wilson. He gets a final word from head coach Tom Flores and steps into the huddle. And he has been much maligned here in the Southern California area, but the key thing is, and Joe touched on it, he's 12-2 this year as a starter. He does not look all that pretty getting it done, but he gets it done, and that's what gets you into the playoffs, gets you into Super Bowls. A 41-yard return for Bolden Walker. On first down, Wilson will put it up in the air. Fires over the middle, complete to Marcus Allen. Allen is to midfield and in Ram territory near the 49-yard line for a first down, or very close to it, perhaps a half a yard short, as Carl Eckern was there defensively. We'll look at that defensive alignment. We, of course, will see the fourth defensive man in often. We'll see Kevin Green and Gary Jeter in there tonight. There are the secondary. Leroy Irvin on the way to the Pro Bowl for the Rams, and this is his third year as a starter at cornerback. Second down and about a yard. Marcus Allen. Big yardage inside the 35-yard line as Allen is down close to the 32 for a Raider first down. The Rams are fourth against the rush in the NFL. They are 10th against the pass. And on the left side, Charlie Hanna with a big opening for Marcus Allen.
And a very nice block by number 27, Frank Hawkins, on Jim Collins. It's a simple dive play, about as basic a play as you can run, a straight-ahead power play, and that's the way the Raiders like to play.
We'll stay right on top of things for Marcus Allen throughout the evening as he attempts to overtake Gerald Riggs. And, of course, looking for that all-purpose yardage record. First and 10. Wilson is back. A lot of time. Tried to get it to Marcus Allen, and almost intercepting was Gary Green. It's incomplete.
Well, that was a bad decision. We were talking about Wilson earlier in the show. He's one of the few quarterbacks that are throwing more interceptions than he has touchdown passes, and that time it was a simple zone defense. The cornerback, Gary Green, fell off the wide receiver, and he's out there waiting along with Marcus for the football. It's a good thing it wasn't intercepted.
Wilson, of course, has been around a while, a #1 draft pick in 1980. He has been handed the starting assignment a couple of times previously, and each time Jim Plunkett would come back, rise like the Phoenix, and take the Raiders on to victory. But right now, Plunkett remains on the injured reserve. Second down and 10, and Allen is nailed at the line of scrimmage. Eckern was there. There'll be no gain, and he might have lost a half a yard. Jim Collins also there defensively, and the Rams defense is a fine defense. So is the Raiders defense, but boy, they are nothing at all alike. The Rams play a lot of zone. They play pretty much, well, what you would expect a 3-4 team, whereas the Raiders, they move all over the field. It looks sometimes like it's totally out of control, but nevertheless, it is effective and it is under control. We have a third down and 10. Jesse Hester, the rookie from Florida State, up at the top of your screen, the #1 draft pick, having a fine year. Dokie Williams, 85, is split to the right. They are the wide receivers. Wilson tried to sneak it into a crowd to Todd Christensen. Mel Owens was there. Gary Green was there. And what Joe touched on a moment ago, you saw Mark Wilson try to do again.
He's trying to stick that ball in there, but I'll tell you what, he had good pressure on him from Charles DeJournette that time, who got up in his face and he couldn't see very well downfield. But his selection of receivers hasn't been good all season.
Well, I tell you one thing about this game, the key to the Raiders is going to be Todd Christensen and Marcus Allen on short passes, and the strength of this Ram defense will be their linebackers, so it should be an interesting matchup.
50-yard attempt for Chris Barr. He's not noted as a long kicker. Got a lot of foot into this one, however. And in doing so, he pulls it off to the left. So the Raiders open like gangbusters. They have to settle for the missed field goal. We'll be back with the Rams' first possession.
On Monday Night Football, the Los Angeles Raiders spotted San Diego at 24-0 lead, but came back to win 28-24 in the greatest comeback victory in the history of the Raiders franchise.
By the way, that was also the first home game for the Raiders in Los Angeles. It was really some comeback. The Rams have the ball at their own 32-yard line, the line of scrimmage for the missed attempted field goal by the Raiders. First down and 10. Dieter Brock brings them up, and Eric Dickerson is in the lineup. We don't know how long he'll be there. Concern, of course, for the hamstring of Eric Dickerson. Hunter in motion, and Dieter Brock is back on first down. Fires out into the flat. The attempt is to Tony Hunter. Brad Van Pelt was there.
Well, Dieter's a little upset with himself because he threw it behind the receiver. But frankly, I'm surprised to see Eric Dickerson in the game, because if there is concern, they should be resting him for the playoffs.
Well, I don't think he'd be there unless he didn't tell the coach that he felt perfectly healthy. I agree with you. I wouldn't work him too much. He's finally seemed to have his rhythm back since missing training camp, but the big game is 2 weeks from tonight, not tonight.
There are some things in that offensive line we'd like to tell you about. We will in a moment. 2nd down and 10. Dickerson. Roaring out of the backfield, up close to a Ram first down, hit there by Otis McKinney. Dennis Harrah is in the offensive line for the Rams tonight. He was questionable with a sore calf. They have been hurt throughout the year along that offensive line. They do not have a lot of people, but they did a good job. Pankey on the left side along with Kent Hill.
Yep, not only Ken Hill, but big David Hill lined up in the backfield, and David Hill normally plays the tight end position at 260. He's a mini refrigerator coming out of that backfield blocking.
1st and 10 inside the 43-yard line of the Rams. If you've just joined us, no score. The Rams and the Raiders of Southern California. Dickerson. And Dickerson gets into Raider territory near the 49-yard line. Short of the first down by about a yard and a half. Dickerson, of course, had a celebrated holdout. He did not play in the first 2 Ram games. He came into tonight with a little over 1,100 yards, 5th in the NFC, and after leading the NFL for the past couple of years, and of course setting that single season record of a year ago of 2,105 yards. 2nd down, a long yard for the Rams. Hunter, the block inside for Dickerson. He is nailed and hit by one of the toughest inside linebackers in this game, Matt Millen, number 55. And Dickerson, I feel certain, is short of the first down, although we might get a measurement. That's the defensive line, and if you follow the Raiders at all, you know that Howie Long moves all along that line of scrimmage, pecking and looking, finding the weak opponent on the offensive line, and he'll have a difficult time with the Rams tonight because 4 of that members of that offensive line are headed to the Pro Bowl.
And that's one of the reasons Dickerson has been so effective, not only his talent, but the guys on that offensive line. Normally when he gets tackled, he's getting tackled by defensive backs, guys who are smaller than he is.
3rd and a little less than 1. Dickerson easily has the first down. Bounced off the first tackler, gets the first down inside the 47-yard line.
Sort of unusual for a breakaway runner like Eric Dickerson to have to carry the ball that much on 3rd down. He's been pretty effective this year on 11 3rd and 1 situations. Going into this last one, he got all 11 first down, so he's now 12 for 12 on 3rd and 1.
John Robinson coached a couple of Heisman Award winners down on that field. You know about Marcus Allen, but Charlie White is with the Los Angeles Rams. Also played for John Robinson, Heisman Award winner. And here is his choice for quarterback, Peter Brock, firing out on the flat to Tony Hunter. And Hunter seems to be improving with each game, fumbles the football, and it's immediately covered. Ellard covers the fumble by Hunter, and the Rams are down at the 30-yard line. Reggie McKenzie made the stop that jarred the ball loose from Tony Hunter. 2 touchdowns for Tony Hunter last week. Of course, he came from Buffalo earlier for Vince Ferragamo.
You know, that was the same play that the Rams tried on first down earlier, and Dieter missed Hunter, but it was a different defense. They got a different look this time, and they made a big gainer out of it.
1st and 10, the ball inside the Raiders' 30-yard line. Still no score. First quarter from Anaheim. Great play. Greg Townsend came upfield. Dickerson, the handoff a little late to Dickerson. Dickerson could do nothing with it. He was looking right in the face of big Greg Townsend. And the loss is all the way back close to the 36-yard line.
Hey, Joe, that's when you were talking about lining up, facing the defense. That was a good example of not knowing the defensive personnel that's in the game, because Greg Townsend is a designated pass rusher, and anytime he's going to rush, he's going to go upfield and outside, so you shouldn't try to run sweeps on him.
He ran right past David Hill. This is what the Raiders love to get you in. 3rd down and long, and that's what they do to you. Sean Jones was there, and Mitch Willis was first. And the loss now all the way back to the 46-yard line. Another 10-yard loss. They just turn it loose when they get you in a long situation. There's Flores, who, of course, was a record-setting quarterback for these Raiders back in the 60s and had a remarkable career. Only John Madden, Don Shula have been able to have 100 victories in their first 10 years, and Flores is right on schedule for that. Barry Redden comes in for Dickerson on 3rd and 26. Dieter Brock is changing something off. Draw play, Barry Redden. Good hard running by Redden, who filled in very well for Dickerson when he was absent in preseason before he injured his ankle, and Redden gets it all the way back to the 33-yard line. And we'll see Lansford, but Redden has given Lansford the opportunity with a fine run on the draw play. Lansford 20 of 26, his best this year, 52 yards. He's also had a 51-yarder. Those, by the way, are his career best. And this will be a 50-yard attempt. Steve Dills, the backup quarterback, one of them is the holder. On its way, it'll be short. And it is short, so the Raiders will have the possession at the line of scrimmage. That would be the 33-yard line when we come back to Anaheim. Monitoring Marcus Allen throughout the night. He's rushed for 17 yards. He's had 1 reception for 8 yards. That's what he needs for all the little incidentals he's going for in this spectacular season he's had. He carried the ball in his first 3 years for about 16 times a game. He's carrying it 23 times a game on average this year, and that's Allen right up the middle to the 39-yard line. He'll get a long 6 out of that. Jim Collins and Charles DeJournay in on the stop for the Rams.
Well, of those records that Marcus is trying to equal or surpass, the toughest one would seem to be tying Walter for consecutive 100-yard games, because this Rams defense has only given up 100 yards to 1 runner this year, Terrell Riggs.
Took him 41 tries to get it.
2nd and 4 at the 39-yard line. Play action. Wilson fires out of the flat. Goes out there to Dokie Williams, and Williams will have the first down up at the 48-yard line. Dokie Williams has had quite a year. He just keeps getting better each year. He's now in his 3rd year. Did not play that much at UCLA, more of a track star there, triple jumper and long jumper, but he has 46 receptions into tonight. That was his 47th of the season, and each season he is improved on the last. Both teams moving back and forth in the middle of the field. 1st and 10. Wilson had it into Todd Christensen. It was almost picked off. Mel Owens stepped right in front of it and should have had it. Couldn't hold on to it.
Well, you know, when a quarterback gets the feeling that he can throw to a particular receiver almost any time, sometimes he makes a mistake and tries to force it. And that's what I've seen Mark do the last 2 plays. Christensen has a wonderful technique of being able to find the dead spots in the zone. But the Rams know that, and they've tightened up their linebacker zones when Christensen comes into them, and the last 2 have nearly been intercepted.
2nd down and 10. Wilson back once again. Christensen over the middle. Christensen into the night, 78 receptions, looking to become the first player ever to have 3 seasons of 80 receptions or more.
He's got his work cut out for him tonight, because as we mentioned before, this Rams set of linebackers, they're excellent in covering that short pass. And to me, the Raiders, they live on throwing that short pass to Marcus and to Christensen. If they want to take advantage of these linebackers playing tight, they got to send Marcus downfield on a long pass. I think he can outrun some of these guys.
Hester goes left. Dokie Williams right. 3rd down and 4, and Wilson is back again. Wilson stays on his feet. And perhaps a first down. It will depend upon where they mark it. He knew where he had to go. Doug Reed was the first one to get to Wilson, chased him out of the pocket, and it's going to be close enough for the measurement. Both teams, again, are 11 and 4. They have clinched their divisions. The Rams know they're going to play the Cowboys here in a couple of weeks. The Raiders are playing for home field advantage right through the playoffs. They're going to play the winner of the wild card game in the AFC. And they do not want to think about going down and playing the Dolphins down in the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the Dolphins have that great record down there, although the Raiders have beaten them there in the past. On to the Rams football team. Georgia Frontiere, very close to this team, emotionally involved in them, and got very actively involved in the negotiations with Eric Dickerson, which was resolved just the other day, 2 weeks ago, while we were in San Francisco. There was an extension to Dickerson's contract that will carry him for 4 more years. Meanwhile, the Raiders have a 4th down at about a yard.
And they should take a penalty for too much time here to try to draw the Rams offside.
That's what they will probably do, but they go ahead and snap away. Ray Guy, who's having a great year for the Raiders, looks for the corner. He wanted it in close. Let's see where he'll get it. Somewhere around the 10-yard line. They'll mark it at the 9. Ray Guy, his net the best in the AFC, and he's been around a long time. No score from Anaheim. 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The game between the Rams and the Raiders. Rams have the football, 1st and 10. The ball is at their own 9-yard line. Dieter Brock, the quarterback, for many years a Canadian Football League star, and John Robinson's choice to direct the Rams. Brock to Dickerson, and Matt Millen coming up underneath, bending Dickerson after a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Olympic medalists and world champion figure skaters, including Randy Gardner, Ty Babylonia, Kitty and Peter Carruthers, plus a special performance by Scott Hamilton and more in a professional competition at the World Challenge of Champions, plus amazing athletes at the National Handicap Ski Championships, and these are indeed amazing athletes, and they are athletes. You'll see it Saturday at 4:30 Eastern and Pacific, 3:30 Central Time. They mark it at the 13, so it'll be 2nd down and 7. Dickerson will work right once again. Just powers his way behind the block of Jackie Slater. David Hill over on the right side, short of the 1st down, out over the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, it won't be long before Dieter Brock starts trying to test the cornerbacks, Mike Haynes and Lester Hayes. Now, I know they've been all pro, but they have Ron Brown and Henry Ella covered, and a lot of times so far in this first quarter, they're one-on-one on the outside.
Raiders in the Pro Bowl will be Todd Christensen, of course, Marcus Allen. Howie Long was there. Mike Haynes made it from the defensive unit of the Raiders, but Lester Hayes did not make it this year. Timeout. The Rams use a timeout. Their seconds were ticking off in the 30-second clock. We'll be back. Greetings from some Rams fans to the Raiders. Players have been very cool. I've talked to several of them since I've been here in town, and they're not going to say anything. I think they probably had word from on high, just keep it cool, let's keep it calm. But when you get into real personal conversations with them, you know they like to win this game. There is no love lost at all between these two football teams. The Rams now have a 3rd down and 2. Dieter Brock has Eric Dickerson as the single setback. Ram moving on the line. I think you saw it. The flags are down.
The Rams are going to be able to run this play pretty soon. I mean, they had to call a timeout shortly a little while ago. They wasted a timeout because either the wrong play was set in or they didn't have the right personnel, and here they foul up the snap count. It's really not an indication of a quality
left guard
playoff team, these last 2 plays that the Rams have had.
No one ever said they were pretty, but they are here. There's Jim Plunkett, and of course Jim Garner, who is a great Raiders fan, always on that bench. He wears more than Flores, I think.
Which is Garner?
Hey, I'm telling you, Jim is beginning to look as old as Gardner.
Oh, he got a little round too, didn't he? 3rd down and 7 now for the Rams. They're back to their own 12-yard line. Plunkett, by the way, could come off of the IR very shortly. Dieter Brock could go on if he gets hit many times like that by Greg Townsend. Oh, he was pounded from the blind side. Gets to his feet, but the loss is all the way back now to the 2-yard line.
And he wasn't by himself because Howie Long ran right over his blocker, and then he ran right over Dickerson. Watch Eric Dickerson on his side trying to block Howie.
Ouch. that does smart.
Yeah.
More than that, it shortens things up for Dale Hatcher, who's having a great year. He'll be the Pro Bowl punter, and he's got a job right now because he can't take his ordinary drop. They cannot put people on the outside. Consequently, Fulton Walker should get good field position for the Raiders. He'll have a good opportunity to bring it back. The wide receivers couldn't come down. Walker stepped out of bounds near the 42-yard line. The picket line was there. But again, when you kick from the end zone like that, you have to bring in the two wideouts. That is what punt return people love to see. They know they're going to have an opportunity for the run. And that time, on a 54-yard effort by Dale Hatcher, Walker had a 24-yard return. The Rams and the Raiders. No score from Anaheim. 3:14 remaining in the first quarter. The Raiders have the football inside the 43-yard line now of the Rams. For the Raiders on the line tonight, home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Not having to worry about going down and playing the Dolphins in the Orange Bowl of Miami. Marcus Allen, a lot on the line for Marcus Allen tonight as he twists his way to the 40-yard line, held for a 2-yard pickup. Marcus Allen, of course, into tonight. Needed 84 yards, and they'll come tough against the Rams to replace Gerald Riggs and win the NFL rushing title this year.
It's quite an interesting contrast to watch the Rams run the ball because they have such a educated running game and speed up front with guys like Kent Hill, opposed to watching the Raiders run the ball because all their linemen are essentially tackles and all they do is run straight ahead power stuff.
Second down and 8. Draw play, Allen slips a tackle. Got away from Eckern at the line of scrimmage and is upfield until he's hit by Wilcher, short of the first down, around the 34-yard line. They'll mark it closer to the 33, so it will be about a yard short. Marcus Allen has been great at this game wherever he's played. A former quarterback at San Diego High School, Heisman Award winner at USC. Over 2,300 yards as a senior at USC. Lines up in the I formation, third down and about a yard. Marcus gets the first down to the 30-yard line.
And the only time Marcus has an advantage in running the football is on third short situations because both of those guards, Charlie Hanna and Mickey Marvin, and even Kurt Marsh when he comes in, which he normally does late in the game, all these guys were college tackles. They don't pull that well, but on power plays like that, they're at their best.
Sellout crowd here in Anaheim. 69,000 plus. A lot of them late arriving because this is freeway logjam time out here. Nothing seems to move. Christmas shopping and all that. But it is just about filled up. On first down, Wilson is back. Marcus Allen tries to use a move and slip inside. Nailed there at the 25-yard line by Jim Collins. He'll get 5 out of it. It'll be second down and 5.
Well, I think Mark is getting into the flow of the game right now. He checked the left side that time, wanted to hit a receiver, came back to his right side for his flanker. Way on the right sideline, was covered and dumped it off to Marcus Allen. He actually threw the ball to his third choice that time and got a good gainer.
Yeah, nice 2-yard pass.
Hey, they got 5 out of that 6. I'll take that every time on first down.
Hester, the rookie from Florida State, top of your screen. Dokie Williams deployed to the right. That's Hawkins in motion. Marcus Allen, big opening. Carries Johnny Johnson with him all the way inside the 15, down close to the 12-yard line. Deceptively strong is Marcus Allen.
And this man really knows how to hold on to the rock, too. This is the 16th game of the season. In the first 15, he only fumbled 3 times, and that's pretty remarkable for a man that handles the ball as many times as Marcus.
Well, you know, he started getting the reputation of being a fumbler in his first 41 games. He fumbled 27 times, so he's worked on that on the offseason. He's been conscious of it in training camp.
A first down for Marcus Allen. He is at the Rams' 12-yard line. That's the end of the first quarter from Anaheim. Beautiful weather out here. We hope you're enjoying our game no matter what kind of weather you're having around the nation. We begin the second quarter, and this ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Nissan, builders of technologically advanced cars and trucks for over 50 years. Raiders first and 10. They're at the 12-yard line of the Rams. No score through the first quarter. Surprisingly so. Play action by Mark Wilson. A lot of time. Dumps it off to Allen. This time, fine open field tackle by Mel Owens. Stops Marcus Allen for a loss to the 11-yard line. The Raiders now have 61 sacks. Got a couple here tonight. They have tied the Seattle Seahawks for the AFC lead. The Giants lead the NFL. They have 68. It'll be second down and 14.
On that last play, that was some type of modified screen. Marcus had Mickey Marvin out there. I don't think he used him that well. He should have gone inside of Mickey and set up the block for him.
Bilky Williams splits right by the Raiders. Inside handoff. Frank Hawkins works it to the 15-yard line. Tripped up, gain of a couple. It'll be third and long, third and 13 for Mark Wilson as we look at the numbers from the first half. And there was a lot of pressure on the first quarter. A lot of pressure on Dieter Brock. And you better believe that you're going to get that from this Raiders defense. They love to get you in a little bit of trouble, second long, third and long, and then really come at you. Right now, the Rams defense is on the line. They're in their prevent with the 6th defensive back in. Wilson with a lot of time gets it to Todd Christensen. He gets to the 10-yard line. Gary Green defensively there. We'll see the field goal unit now. And out comes Chris Barr.
He had Jesse Hester working on the left side, and it appeared as if Jesse was going to be his primary receiver. Joey was looking over there.
He ran a great corner pattern, but again, Mark's pulling the trigger a little too soon. With a 3rd down and 12 situation, he wasn't getting pressured. He should have held the ball a little longer and looked downfield toward Hester.
It will be an attempt at 27 yards. Chris Barr missed earlier from 49 yards. And the Raiders put the points on the board first here at Anaheim. Chris Barr good from 27 yards out. The Raiders leading the Rams 3-0. We'll be back in a moment. 22 NFL players have ever returned 4 kickoffs for touchdowns in a single season. Ron Brown, who is deep now for the Los Angeles Rams, has already brought 3 back this season. Tonight will be his last night to join Travis Williams and Cecil Turner, who did it earlier. Williams with Green Bay, Turner with the Bears. And here he is, Ron Brown, the Olympic gold medalist in the 4x100 relay. And he'll bring it out from the end zone. It opened for a moment and then closed ever so quickly. And Brown works to the 23-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 for the Rams to trail the Raiders 3-0. ABC's College Football Bowl action begins Monday night, December the 30th, with the Gator Bowl featuring the Florida State Seminoles taking on the Oklahoma State Cowboys, last year's Gator Bowl winners. And on January the 1st, the Sugar Bowl kicks off with second-ranked Miami, hoping for a national title, squaring off against the Southeast Conference champion, number 8-ranked Tennessee. Both games will begin live at 8 o'clock Eastern right here on ABC Sports. So be with us. First and 10, the Rams, and again, Dieter Brock did not have the right personnel. This time it wasn't the 32nd clock ticking down. The right personnel was not on the field. It is sloppy.
They didn't even have 11 men on the field that time. They only had 10 out there.
Tough with 10. Challenge of Champions will feature Olympic medalists and world champion figure skaters, including Randy Gardner, Ty Babylonia, and Kitty and Peter Carruthers, plus a special performance by Scott Hamilton, Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports. First and 10, the Rams. They now have 11 people on the field. They're at their 23-yard line. Dickerson piled up over the right side. Reggie McKenzie, a rookie out of Tennessee, a 10th round draft pick who's played great football for the Raiders this year for a rookie. Certainly has to be considered for MVP defensively on the rookie team. Had a brother, Raleigh, was an 11th round draft pick in Washington that made the Redskins ball club. Second down and 10. 2 tight ends, Tony Hunter and David Hill are in. Dieter Brock almost intercepted by Mike Haynes. They're trying to squeeze it into Ron Brown, and interesting as we look at the delivery of Dieter Brock. George Allen was in the booth right before the game started, Joe, and I'm telling you, relaying what you said. when we had somebody this short who threw the ball sidearm like Dieter Brock, now watch, he kind of throws it sidearm. He said, and that ball was deflected, by the way, and that's what George Allen said would happen. Said, you'll get a lot of that. He used to say, I would tell Dave Button, my big defensive tackle at the Redskins, just get a little yardage upfield and put those big hands up.
I wonder how Eddie LeBaron ever played the game. And Billy Kilmer didn't play
for George Allen, but Kilmer did. As you get a 3rd and 10, the flag is down, and so is Dickerson. Out at the 24-yard line, but the flag is down, and it's downfield.
Well, it looked like one of the Raiders jumped off sides on the left. He got back, but Stacy Turan started moving on the right, and I don't think he got back.
The odd couple, Donny Osmond and Lyle Alzado.
Boy, that is the real odd couple there.
Alzado, of course,
odder than that.
recovering from a ruptured Achilles tendon. There's some great football for a decade and a half, this man. So it'll be 3rd down and 5 now. Barry Redden was the setback. And they're behind Dieter Brock. Brock rifles one in. It goes out to Ellard. Boy, Brock had something on that, sidearm or not. He really put something on it to Ellard out of the 41-yard line. But a flag is down. It's going to be holding, and they'll bring it back. But boy, he had smoke on that one, Joe.
He had a lot of heat on it. And, you know, we have to agree with George Allen. When you see a man back there throwing 3/4 sidearm, you'd love to be able to block every pass. You'll see his release here. It's not directly overhand, but this is his 12th year of professional football, and he's been getting by quite well with that 3/4 release.
The holding call was against Pankey. Ellard's reception will be brought back. It'll be 3rd down and 15. 10 years at Winnipeg, 1 year at Hamilton before John Robinson nailed him down here as a Ram. He had 37 300-yard games up in Canada over his career. Had a whole bunch of 400-yard games. So he can get it done. Eric Dickerson. On a 3rd and 15, Stacy Turan takes Dickerson at the 23-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage. The Ram fans are getting a little uncomfortable with what's happening, and the punting team comes on.
Well, the football games are usually won and lost in the pits. I'm talking offensive and defensive line play. Right now, the Raiders are just flat whipping the offensive line of the Rams. The Rams haven't been able to pass protect for Dieter Brock, and they haven't been able to run the football successfully.
A little bit of a haze tonight, a little bit of a fog, but it's been beautiful weather here in Southern California as Dale Hatcher nails one up high. Having a superb year is Dale Hatcher. This is Colton Walker. Walker down at the 33-yard line. But again, I know the weather very severe around the country. Look at it one way. This is our final telecast, and I'm going to be looking for me a mountain to slide down somewhere. Sun Valley, Colorado, back in the east somewhere.
I don't even know how you can refer to this as fog after what we went through in Seattle a few days ago.
I'll go for that. Now, that was fog.
Those people get my vote as the toughest citizens in the country. They still have it up there. We really feel for them. They're wonderful people, great football fans. 1st and 10, the Raiders. They lead 3-0 over the Rams. Wilson. Hester is there. Jesse Hester beat Leroy Irvin, and a beautiful pass by Wilson. He had it right on stride as the rookie from Florida State reached out, pulled it down, was dragged down by Irvin, but not until he was inside the 10. It'll be 1st down, goal to go. And Joe, he couldn't throw this any better.
And Leroy Irvin knew he was beaten. He actually committed a foul down here. Right there, you see him committing the foul, but the ball was still out in front. Beautifully thrown pass, and Hester can flat get it. He just simply runs an outside goal pattern. He will get bumped late again by Leroy, who's a pretty smart cornerback. You see him right here trying to hold him. He knows he's beaten. And Mark is strong enough to get the ball out in front.
One-on-one, the quarterback gets a lot of time to throw the ball. He throws it perfectly. You're going to beat any cornerback. 1st down, goal to go. Marcus Allen down to the 3-yard line, making the 2 as Carl Eckern made the stop for the Rams. Marcus Allen continues to rumble. He has been the offense. When Jim Plunkett went down in that 3rd game, things changed dramatically with this football team. I mentioned earlier that Allen had been carrying the ball 16 or 17 times. in each of his previous 3 years per game. He's up over 23 carries per game.
I'll tell you one thing, Frank Hawkins, the fullback, number 27 for the Raiders, and the 2 inside backers for the Rams, Jim Collins and Carl Eckern. It was Eckern on the last play. They may be going on a honeymoon together after this game is over, because they're really kissing each other on these inside running games. I mean, they're really tagging one another. And that's from Hawkins. Believe me, they just hit each other.
Sent off the field by the official. He didn't want to come off, and the official saw the blood and sent him off. It's second down, goal to go. Hawkins, he's nailed right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down, goal to go. There's the drawing board. Tom Flores going back to it. That's Rusty Hilger, the rookie quarterback out of Oklahoma State. And 3 tight ends remain in. And there is actually a loss of about a yard on that play. We could see Wilson with some kind of a rollout. Tried to get it to Allen, incomplete. It's fourth down, goal to go, and we'll see the field goal unit.
Well, he had his choice of receivers on that play. Both Hawkins and Marcus was open on either side of the linebacker, and it looked as if he couldn't make up his mind which one he wanted to throw to.
Well, there was definitely some confusion. I saw Mark Wilson after the play motioning to Marcus like he should have ran a flat pattern, an out pattern. But meantime, he was wide open. All he had to do was drop the ball over the defender's head for 6 points.
Chris Barr has missed from 49. He hit from 27. This attempt from 21. Fake.
It'll never work.
And it's picked off. Gary Green intercepted it. I don't know whether that's credited as an interception or not. We'll have to find out. Mark Wilson, the holder, and Chris Barr, the intended receiver, and that's a good way to lose your kicker going into the playoffs. Had he caught that football, they would have buried him right there. It would have been a little monument. Said, here lies Chris Barr. No longer does he kick field goals. They maybe got out of that lucky.
You make the call. In Super Bowl 19, a Dan Marino pass was intercepted at the 2 by Eric Wright, whose momentum carried him into the end zone where he was touched by Mark Clayton. Now you make the call. Where do you spot the ball? What call did you make? When an interceptor has 2 feet down inside the 5-yard line, the ball is spotted at that point. Spot the ball at the 2.
Here's the play.
Go ahead, Frank. I'm sorry.
Well, this was 2 plays before, and on the rollout, you can see there was a couple of receivers in there that were open. Hawkins was open, and then Marcus Allen. They came back with the fake field goal, and that fooled no one. Gary Green put the pressure on Mark Wilson, and it was picked off and intercepted by Newsom. Well, the Rams have a first down, and they got out of that without giving up any points. Dickerson works for a yard. It's second down and 9, but this game is being dominated thus far by the Raiders. Now let's go back and pick up the fake field goal. And I don't think there's any question it was a fake. Chris Barr, of course, the kicker. He didn't even make the approach at it. I don't know whether it was or not. Maybe Chris Barr saw something we didn't see. Marcus. It looked for a moment like Wilson was going to try a lateral to him. We'll try and find out from the bench if that was a fake or whether it just was something Chris Barr did extemporaneously. Second down, here's Dickerson. Dickerson to the 10-yard line.
Boy, if the Rams had an option pass, or they should run a play-action pass or something, because on every play it appears as if the Raiders are bringing up their defensive backs, especially their safeties. Mike Davis is back playing again after missing about 5 weeks with injury, and on the first 2 plays, he's just, when the ball was snapped, he just came across the line of scrimmage.
And that means they have one-on-one on the outside with Ron Brown and Henry Allen, and why they're not throwing the football to those wide receivers deep, I don't know.
Third down and 7. Brock, a lot of pressure. Down once again at the 1-yard line. Greg Townsend was in on Dieter Brock, and he had a lot of friends with him.
I think that's the reason why he's not throwing the football deep.
Well, it's hard to believe they can't give him any time. They got 4 offensive linemen, as Frank said earlier, who are going to the Pro Bowl.
Out comes Hatcher. He'll be kicking once again from the end zone, and Fulton Walker will align himself up at just about midfield. And again, the Rams will not be able to send those two wide men down. They pull in tight because they can't take the depth that they'd like to for the punter. But Hatcher nails another beauty. Walker at the 44-yard line of the Raiders. Gets it back to the 46-yard line where it'll be first down, and good field position once again for the Raiders. They lead 3-0. 6:38 remaining in the first half from Anaheim, and we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
This is Channel 7, KABC TV, Los Angeles.
From Anaheim, California, Frank Gifford along with Joe Namath, O.J. Simpson, watching the battle for Southern California supremacy in the NFL. The Rams of Anaheim, the Raiders of Los Angeles. The Raiders lead 3-0, and they are dominating the Rams here in the first half. They just have not put the points up on the scoreboard. They had what appeared to be a fake field goal missed by a short while ago. They send Marcus Allen on 1st and 10 down to the 42-yard line for a gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7. But again, on the line for the Raiders tonight, an opportunity with a victory to secure home field advantage throughout the playoffs should they travel all the way to the Super Bowl. They don't have to think if they win tonight about going down and meeting the Dolphins in Miami. The Rams have already secured their first playoff game here against the Dallas Cowboys. Second down, 7. Wilson. Hawkins. Good running by Hawkins inside the 40-yard line. Broke the tackle of Mike Wilcher, who ordinarily is a very sure tackler. To add yardage inside the 40, it'll be third down and 2.
These Ram linebackers are just about the best tackling group of linebackers I've seen in the league. But Frank, you made mention that the Raiders are dominating the Rams, and I agree with you, but the score is only 3-0. And this Ram team, they remind me of the Broncos in that they can get beat up and down the field for most of the game, but somehow at the end of the game they end up winning as Marcus
Allen is limping off the field, and they're looking at him on the sidelines. Mark Wilson is back. It's third down and 3. He just threw it out of bounds.
Why wouldn't that be intentional grounding?
Well, because it was handled quite nicely there by Matt Millen. He was open. You could have to admit that, Joe.
Matt Millen, yeah. Right on the sideline.
Flag is down at the 45-yard line. And holding against the Raiders.
There wasn't a receiver within 10 yards of where he threw that pass.
Options are being read off now to the Rams because it would be fourth down and about 3, or it's going to be third down and about
holding, number 65, decline the penalty, fourth down.
So the Rams decline the penalty. They do not want to give them the extra down. It would have been third down and 13. They take a fourth down and 3, and out comes Ray Guy, the punter for the Raiders.
The way Marcus is walking, I can't tell if it's his ankle or maybe his hip that's bothering him.
Ray Guy having another fine year for the Raiders. First round draft pick back in '73. Quarterback out of Southern Mississippi. Got another one on the way. 4-yard line. He was third in the NFL in getting it out of bounds inside the 20. The Rams, Dale Hatcher, ended the night with second in the NFL. Buffalo's John Kidd was leading the NFL and set an NFL record kicking the ball this season out of bounds inside the 20. He had 33 into the night. Referee tonight is Ben Dreith. Been very quiet for them this evening. Rams once again deep in their own territory. First down and 10. Dickerson. Reggie McKenzie was there first. At 4-5 Raiders. Took Dickerson all the way back close to the 5-yard line, but He had a gain of about 9.
About 4 backs in football could have gotten yards out of that situation.
Doesn't look like there's anything wrong with his leg now. That was some mighty fine running.
His old buddy Craig James from his SMU days had quite a year for the New England Patriots. We'll take a look at him at halftime. Well over 1,000 yards. Second down and less than a yard for the Rams. 4:20 and the clock is moving remaining in the first half. This is Dickerson. That'll be close to the first down. I think he has it. He is tripped up by Howie Long. Might have to have the measure. No, the first down is indicated.
Well, I think the Rams are going to have to start passing the football again to their outside receivers on the early downs. They haven't been able to sustain any kind of attack so far, and I think that's one of the reasons their Raiders are so tough to run the football on.
Outside man, of course, Ellard and Brown. Peter Brock trying to underhand the ball to David Hill, and it almost looked underhand at that time. Sidearm is getting lower, Joe.
Yeah, that's the kind of pass that'll make a quarterback sick. I mean, he had his receiver wide open, and I think he was just being so careful with the pass. He held on to it a hair too long and threw it in the ground. He was wide open.
Marcus Allen appears to be all right.
I'm interested to find out if it's his hip or his thigh that may be bothering him. He's running like it's not his ankle, and as we mentioned before, he doesn't wear too much protection. He has the smallest pads and the least amount of pads as any back in the league.
Second down and 10 for the Rams. Dickerson. Stacy Turan pulls Dickerson down near the 28-yard line. This time, a pickup of 8. Dickerson has really been hot over the past few weeks, averaging over 6 yards, O.J., in the last couple of games. And a little hamstring pull. We didn't even know whether we were going to see him tonight, but he's running well.
Yes, he's running well, and he's keeping his timing, and they want him to be sharp. He has 2 weeks to rest up before they play Dallas. But the thing tonight is the Raiders are playing those safeties so close to the line of scrimmage. And if Eric is able to pop the line, there's going to be 1 or 2 guys for him to beat. And I'd bet on Eric in the secondary with 1 guy to beat.
Eric has 51 yards and 14 carries. Third down and 2. He will not get the first down. Matt Millen pulled in behind the pulling guard and dropped Dickerson right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down, and we'll see Hatcher again. And the word is on Marcus Allen that he was kicked in the knee. And you saw him a moment ago. I think it's rather obvious that he will be back. But O.J. touched on the fact that he wears very few pads. Doesn't wear any knee pads. And you're going to pay that price.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you wear a knee pad?
Well, the only thing it protects you from is a kick in the knee. You know, if you twist your knee, you're going to get hurt. But, I mean, a twist
or some burns on an artificial surface. Holden Walker needs 5 yards to break the record of Greg Pruitt, also set with the Raiders. What that really indicates is that the Raiders' defense was making the other team punt a lot of times. Hatcher, another fine kick by Hatcher. Ball is loose and covered. The Raiders do cover it. It's still loose, but they have blown the whistle. The Rams get it back.
I tell you, the Rams are like Denver Broncos. They can do it with mirrors. We saw them against the 49ers get beaten for most of the first half just about a week and a half ago, and they ended up winning the game. And they've been playing and winning like this all year.
Again, he cuts inside. The ball comes out. And look, for a moment, as this Trey Junkin had it and is pulled out of there again. And Newsome will come up with it. There's Junkin. He covers it right there. And then Vince Newsome, who many people say should have been on the Pro Bowl as a special teams player. He has had some great games for these Rams. Rams get a break. 1:48 remaining in the first half. They're down by 3. 1st and 10 at the 33. Has the new record, but he would much rather have the football. I'm quite sure of that, as the fumble has given the Rams the football inside the 38-yard line of the Raiders. Rams trailing by 3 with 1:48 remaining here in the first half. And keep in mind now, the Rams had to use 2 of their timeouts earlier because They almost had let the 30-second clock run out on them at one time, and on another occasion, they only had 10 men on the field. Dickerson to the outside and stays in bounds for first down yardage to the 27-yard line. Reggie McKenzie chased him out of bounds.
Once again, there's no substitution for speed. That play was well defensed by the Raiders. Stacy Turan had containment, and he had pretty good position, but Eric Ben, a 9-0 100-yard dash man, just turned on the afterburners and got 9 yards.
Bobby Duckworth, former San Diego Charger receiver, but left by the Rams, top of your screen. Dickerson. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. He might get one out of it. Stacy Turan came around the horn and was there first against Dickerson. It'll be second down and 9. Seconds ticking away. That is what remains in the first half. We're going to look at the playoff picture and talk about the season that we have just been through here on ABC. And a look ahead at halftime, so stay with us. Second and 9. Rock looking into the end zone, trying to get the ball to Duckworth. Overthrown and incomplete, and Duckworth was well covered. So it'll be third down and 9. Clock stopped with 58 seconds.
You know, you got a feel for Fulton Walker. For the rest of his life, he's going to show his kids and maybe one day his grandkids the play that he got the NFL punt return record on, and it's going to end with a fumble.
Tom Flores did a great job. Took over from John Madden 7 years ago. And as I mentioned earlier, on his way to becoming another 100-game winner within that framework of 10 years that only John Madden and Don Shula have been able to pull off. Third and 9. Brock is upended. Good play. Mitch Willis got in there again, and that is really going to hurt Mike Lansford. That's the 4th sack of the night. But that is going to back Lansford up. And let's take a look from the end zone. Mitch Willis, 7th-round draft pick a year ago, has really come on.
In effect, he's really a rookie. He was on injured reserve for most of last year. The Raiders seem to find these guys at 6'7", 280. He reminds you a little of Ben Davis. Davison.
The Raiders have taken time out. They have 48 seconds on the clock. I presume that would be that they feel that the Rams would let it tick down as far as they could before they tried their field goal with Mike Lansford. The Raiders feel that if they can keep some seconds on that clock, they might get the block, and then they would have an opportunity to go to work on the Rams. And even should Lansford miss the field goal, the Raiders will have the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Well, the wind isn't a factor at all tonight. You'd think a professional kicker in these days should be able to kick a 52-yard field goal, but we've seen some teams this season have problems kicking field goals. It's really cost them some games.
This will be an attempt of about 52 yards. And, of course, Steve Dills is the holder. Lansford has missed earlier from 50 yards out. He has won this season at 52, however, and that's his career best. On its way. This one is tied up as Lansford ties his own record. 43 seconds remaining. We're tied at 3. Maybe the kind of football game we anticipated. Moving back and forth, up and down the field. The Rams, never anything